So Claire, on Wednesday the 2nd, we have brand new league functionality going into our competitions portal, which is basically replacing what was in whole game system. So a quick question for you, Claire. When it goes live on Wednesday, do I as a league have to go in and make any amendments to any of my league requirements?
Yes, you can. It will be available from Wednesday. I would recommend, the sooner you do it, the better. If you don't do it on Wednesday, it's not the end of the world. It's open 365, so you can go in at any time. However, any pending actions that club send through will come through with the new default requirement if you don't change them.
So in terms of the default download, the default requirements, what are mine going to be? Is it the same for everybody else, or have you picked up what I had in whole game system and plugged them into the new one?
So with regards to, let me just go through the list. Do we always want to allow registrations for both adults and youth? The default is set to yes. Do you want to photograph? So photo upload for adult leagues will be set to no. However, for youth leagues, that will be yes. Maximum number of players per team, which we're going to talk about in a minute because it is a new feature, is set for no for both adult and youth. Online consent is set to no, is default for both adult and youth. Phone number, no, both adult and youth, but an ID check is set to no for an adult league and yes for a youth league.
That's correct. And you mentioned there, Claire, there's some new features. So can you elaborate on what are some of the new features that we've added in to the competition portal league requirements?
Yeah, we've got some really good features. So you can now see whether you want to allow registrations all year round, or do you want to set your own season? So I don't know, let's just say I run a youth league and I don't want to allow registrations, my clubs to put registrations through until mid-August. And then if I've got a cut-off date for registrations, I can put that in, maybe the end of March, if that's the last date that I want to accept registration. So that's really useful. You can also say now whether you want to mandate online consent, which guarantees that you've got a valid email for every single one of your users, or the player's parents if it's a youth player under 16. And the final thing, and for me, which I think is probably going to be the most useful, is the squad caps. So you can put your maximum squad size in. So as an example, if you've got a 5v5 team and you want to put a maximum squad size in of 10, then you can do that. And the club cannot register more than 10 players once they've hit their maximum.
That sounds amazing. And if it is so say at the moment we've got players registered throughout the season and my squads now, maybe I want to put a cap of 20, but someone's got 22. What would happen to those two that are outstanding?
Actually, that's a really good point. Yeah, nothing. Currently, we will not be removing any players from the league because we don't know which players we need to remove. So as a league, you can go into your teams tab and check or you can, use your export filters, etc. And you can check which teams have got over the maximum squad size, and then maybe speak to your club, see who the one cancelled, or leave as it is.
That's fabulous. And because this now is no longer in whole game system, is there any more people that can access this? So is it just the league secretary, or can more than that access these league requirements in the competition portal?
In the competition portal, anybody who's a league admin, so that includes your key officials like your secretary, treasurer, welfare officer, but also your league registration officer will be able to update the requirements if they want to.
Fabulous. So in terms of any pending actions I might have now as a league that are outstanding, would you recommend that they are cleansed off before Wednesday the 2nd, or does it not really matter?
I would 100% recommend that you clear down your pending actions prior to Wednesday if you get the chance. The reason being that it could be confusing if some pending actions are based on your old requirements and some come through on a new requirement or come through with the default requirement. So our recommendation to you is if you've got any outstanding pending actions, then clear them down now.
And from a club's perspective, if they've got their pending actions, they're in progress because the clubs are still working on them, but I do my changes to my league requirements, will those pending actions automatically update, or will the club have to start again from scratch once I've updated my requirements?
They absolutely will. No, the club won't need to cancel what they've got now and then resubmit them. If as a league you change your requirements, then it could take a little while, depending on how many outstanding pending actions the club has got. It could take a little while to update, but it will update the what I would call in-flight pending actions. So any outstanding pending actions will come through and based on the new requirements. So it might be that when a club go and try and submit it to the league, it'll come back saying you can't because, you know, maximum squad size has been hit, etc.
Fabulous. So our last question, Claire, is in terms of support. So obviously this is brand new. There is some new functionality in there. Is there any guidance out there already that we can go and have a look at, or do we need to wait till Wednesday? Is something going to be sent to us? Where do we need to go for some more guidance?
There's absolutely more guidance there. On our knowledge base, so grassrootstechnology.thefa.com, and there'll be articles in there based on showing you exactly how to get through your league requirements, editing a current one, adding any new ones, so that'll be really useful. Also, if you try and access the league requirements via the whole game system, we are going to put a redirect on there in November. It won't be there on time for the 2nd of November, unfortunately, and any requirements that you do change in whole game won't reflect in the competition portal, so you could have a mismatch. Please do go directly into the competition portal, competitions.thefa.com, and update your requirements in there.
That's excellent. Thank you, Claire. So just as a final little recap, so this comes out on Wednesday, the 2nd of August. There's
November.
going to be... Oh, yes. Hang on. Let me start that again as a recap. So, Claire, just as a recap, I'll start that again as well. So, Claire, just as a recap, on Wednesday, the 2nd of November, this is going to be released into the systems. If my requirements are different to the default, or I have more than one, I need to go and action that as soon as possible on Wednesday, or at least before I accept any registrations. We've got tons of exciting new features, which leagues have been asking for like 2 years now. And if in terms of what you can do beforehand, it's just get rid of those pending actions that might be outstanding. But otherwise, if we need some support, go to grassrootstechnology.thefa.com.
Yeah,
so that is excellent. Thank you so much, Claire, and I'm sure we'll speak soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you.